Things just got more interesting for the Chicago Bulls as they take a loss to the Los Angeles Clippers tonight, 122 to 117. We're going to be talking about the key takeaways from tonight's game. And so this is your host, Rico Greenhowe. You found yourself on another episode of Bulls Digest. And so today the Chicago Bulls unfortunately take a loss to the Los Angeles Clippers at home, 122 to 117. But there were some very good performances here. And I must say, we actually got a chance to see some more player evaluation. I love the fight that the Chicago Bulls showed in this game. I think that they really started to turn it on in the second quarter, but ultimately it came down to the Los Angeles Clippers and their ability to continue to make shots. And so before we go ahead and jump into the box score and look at the key takeaways from tonight's game, wanted to remind you that 70.1% of you that watch are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure that you go ahead and you slam dunk on that subscribe button for us, as it means a lot as we try to reach our end of the season subscriber goal. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the box score and look at some of the key takeaways from tonight's game. And so we always start with the MVPs, and the MVP of the night for me is going to be Josh Giddey. I think that Josh Giddey once again plays a fabulous game. And let's start with the fact that he was 4 of 4 from downtown tonight. And it was the way that he took the three-point shots. It wasn't like he was just standing on the perimeter waiting for the basketball to come to him. He was really coming down. He was letting it fly, and you could just really see the confidence. There was one at the top of the key where he dribbles into it. And so that is Josh Giddey just really on fire really lately. And so it was good to see that Josh Giddey continues that from downtown to start off. And then just the way that he continued to get downhill tonight. He was 8 of 14 from the field, so I like that. He had a nice and one in the third quarter, so that was good to see. Ultimately, he finishes with 25 points. He has 8 rebounds. He has 12 assists. He had a steal. He was +8 as well in the plus-minus box score. I think the only thing that he just really struggled with was the turnovers, and ultimately speaking, he still had a very good game. And so I have got to give Josh Giddey his credit once more as he continues to play well. And so he's definitely an MVP of the night. Next up, Zac Collins. Look, Zac Collins tonight, I thought I was looking at the Zac Collins from Gonzaga. Like I literally thought I was looking at him from Gonzaga, because he was shooting the basketball with confidence, much like he did when he was playing there in college. And so that was good to see tonight. He was 2 of 4 from 3. He had 17 points in this one. More importantly, he had 7 assists. And so his ability to really find players who were cutting. I think that he had a nice play to Tre Jones. That was one of the nicer assists that I saw on the night. And so that was good to see there. And so, yeah, it was a big performance, I think, for Zac Collins, who had to step in yet again because of Vooch being out. And so that was good to see there. And you like the rebounds too as well. I loved how he fought for the boards and things like that. He also had 1 block and 1 steal. He was +6 in the plus-minus box score. And next up, just looking at the players on the team that had a good night. And so starting with Tre Jones. And so I think that Tre Jones, look, he had a very good game. I loved his activity as far as just, again, cutting. Just the player movement was there tonight for the Bulls. I think that that was one of the things that they did well, and he was definitely one of those players that really benefited from it. He was 7 of 9 from the field, and he also knocked down three-point shots. I mean, coming off the bench and knocking down the three-point shots, he doesn't start. And so for him to come off the bench in the second half and just really pick up where he left off, that was good to see. +6, 16 points. He had 2 rebounds. He also had 3 assists. I think that Tre Jones absolutely shows you why he definitely can be a backup point guard in this league. And so next up with Kevin Huerter. Look, Kevin Huerter, he's been playing pretty well since he had that first game with us, just that was not that good. And I think that that really is really the story out of all the players that came over via trade. And so, look, he had 13 points. He had 2 rebounds. He had 3 assists. He was -9 in the plus-minus box score. But he was 5 of 15 and 3 of 9 from 3. And I think that really you could tell that Kevin Huerter's activity has picked up. I think that his movement has been a lot better on the offensive end. I think he's getting a lot more comfortable playing with Josh Giddey. who was able to kind of set the table for him a little bit more tonight. And so Kevin Huerter, got to give him some credit. I think he was solid across the board. And then next up was Lonzo. And so, look, Lonzo, to me, I think the energy was there. He had 15 points in this one. He had 4 rebounds. He had 3 assists. He had 1 block. He had 2 steals. He had plus 6 in the plus minus box score. He had a dunk, I think, that came off of a steal. So that was good to see. And then he was 6 of 10 from the field. So he didn't hit a whole bunch of 3-point shots today. He was 2 of 5, but he played 28 minutes. That's always a win. And look, Lonzo continues to look good every time he plays out there. And you see just what an impact he is for this team. So that was great to see. Next up, Coby White. And so, look, Coby White, he had 19 points, which is a good thing, right? I think that anytime that you see Coby White scoring the basketball, that is great to see. And it's unfortunate that the shot that he missed late in the fourth quarter that tied it up, or would have tied it up, he came back later on and he hit a shot that was much deeper than that one, which was just wild. But still, 7 of 16 from the field, 4 of 11 from 3. And I just, in 31 minutes. And so the one thing that I didn't like from Coby White tonight is just, I think that he did a lot of like the jump passing and stuff like that. So I would have liked to see him kind of stay on the ground, take his time a little bit more with the passes and things like that. I think that Tre Jones really bailed him out on one of those things. And so we've talked about that before with Coby White. He could definitely kind of do some wild things as far as trying to pass the basketball, but it was just good to see that Coby White was knocking down some shots tonight, and he had a very nice dunk in this one too. And so next up too with Buzelis. And so look, Buzelis, I know he struggled tonight, but I love the fact that he got the experience. I think that he really needed to take the lumps, so to speak, going against Kawhi Leonard, who blocked his shot. And look, the Clippers blocked a lot of shots. We'll talk about that in a moment. But I think that Modest, kind of struggled a bit there. He was trying to find his way. But still, with 5 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, negative 18. He played 26 minutes, 1 of 3 from 3, and then 2 of 7 from the field. I just think that this was a learning experience for Buzelis. And I think that this is the type of experience that I want to see what he does now, because I think that he's going to respond very well. That's why we love Buzelis with the way that he's able to respond. Some of the other takeaways out of this is that we see that Dalen Terry did play some minutes. He did knock down a 3-point shot tonight. Loved his energy, 5 points, 3 assists, 2 steals. He was +2. Julian Phillips, look, he was negative 11 tonight, but I don't think that the box score really kind of tells just what he brought tonight. I think that the energy is there for him. I think the upside is there as well. 2 points, 2 rebounds. He was negative 11. He did play 16 minutes, 18 minutes from Dalen Terry. So that's excellent. We wanted to see both of those players play, and so that's good to see. And look, I think before we go ahead and jump into the team box score, I think the key takeaway here is that Billy Donovan is forced to really go into some different lineups. And that is something that we've wanted to see. And if you didn't get a chance to see this game, the Bulls actually ran a zone defense at times. And so that was good to see as well. He's mixing it up defensively. And so, due to some injuries and just the fact that, look, he's had to kind of go trust the younger guys a little bit more now. We're seeing that now we get a chance to see some more evaluations, which is what we want to see from this team as they continue to try to figure out the path and the direction ultimately that they need to go on. And so let's go ahead and jump into the box score for the team stats and just look at some of the key takeaways from that. And so I think initially, what you see out of this is the field goal percentage, which we're going to talk about that in a moment. I think that was huge for the Clippers in winning this game. But look, 44-41, the Clippers lead in rebounding. And then when the turnovers, 17-15, the Bulls lead in that department. That's something that we've really struggled with, I think, all season. Then when you look at the fast breaks, 29-16, Bulls in the fast break. I think that was one of the reasons why we were able to stay into this basketball game, is because we were able to pick it up in the transition game. And then as far as points in the paint, look, 48-38, the Bulls points in the paint. The Clippers are not the biggest team. And so I think that we did a terrific job as far as getting to the paint. I think that's where Zac Collins with the rebounding and just his ability to get downhill when he got a chance to. Like, that was good to see. Giddey, all these players like that were able to get into the paint and make their shots. And so next up, steals. And so we were 9-9 in that department. So a tie in steals. But the block shots, that was key for the Clippers tonight. Defensively, they were very good. 10-1 as far as the block shots were concerned. You know how good Kawhi is defensively, and you know how good this team can be defensively. And so they were great as far as blocking shots. The Bulls, look, they had a very good assist to field goal ratio, 35 assists to 46 field goal makes. So that is very good. And they shoot very good percentages to the Bulls. Look, 48.9% from the field, 45.2 from three. But this is where the Clippers really won the game. 51.8 from the field, but 51.4 from three. I mean, they literally just shot the ball very, very well. You look at Harden, Kawhi, these guys really started to get hot, and they just kept it rolling. And so, look, this was a good fight from the Bulls. They just come up a little bit short, but I'm most impressed with the fact that we did get a chance to see, some of these younger players play that need to be evaluated. And I'll say this, look, Kevin Huerter played more than Modest Buzelis. And I think that, that's an indication of just this team really still focusing on winning. I'm not saying that you go out there and you're trying to lose, but you've got to develop a player that's going to be there long term. I'm not just sold on, Kevin Huerter. I don't think he's going to be a long-term fix for you. I think that, maybe he's here for the duration of his contract, or if they go and flip him or whatnot, but you have got to invest in players that you think are going to be here for the long term. Like, Josh Giddey, look, he played a lot of minutes tonight, and he should, right? Because, look, you're getting ready to go to the negotiation table, and you got to see, what he can do with everybody, right? Because that's what he does. He's terrific at assisting the basketball, and so you need to evaluate as much as possible. And so that means that Modest Buzelis has to get the same attention as far as just getting this evaluation along with some other players. But I will say this, with Zac Collins, I think that with him, the fact that he got a chance to play, I think that kind of lets you know now that if you are going to move on from Vooch, you do have a little bit maybe of an insurance policy with Jalen Smith and then Zac Collins. He's not on a long contract. I think he has one more year left. And so if you don't flip him, then you see that maybe he can definitely work well with what you have right now, because I think that Josh Giddey and him, they actually had a pretty good connection in tonight's game. You already know that he has a good connection with Modest Buzelis, this Josh Giddey. And so, look, you get a chance to evaluate and see some more of that. We're seeing the energy that DT, Dalen Terry, and Julian Phillips bring off the bench. And so a lot of good stuff in that tonight. And so let me know what you're thinking here with these key takeaways from tonight's game. What was it for you? And then also, too, as I always say, the Bulls just got to get a plan to get there. You got to know what you have there. So let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking. And as I always say, go Bulls, and I will see you on the next one. All right, peace.